gentlemen have made their presentations to you, so you already know what they are all about. What is important to understand is that all three are experts at what they do. So that's the main thing that I want. Let's have them seated first, right? All right. So, so the first thing I think a quick introduction of each of these three gentlemen. As I was saying, you met them before. I've introduced Dr. Mahanti before, but just a one-liner. Dr. Mahanti is a PhD in physics, a lot of research papers. He worked for IBM and Deloitte for many years. You know him well. Chandan Pandey is the founder CEO of ICON Analytics. One thing I just wanted to say, just reading his profile, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Chandan. I'll quote here is to make complex analytics accessible to everyone, not just technical nerds.
No, that's the power of LLM.
That's
We
right.
live in that world, right?
And another thing that reflects back to his Rourkela Endeavor 2, and he said that's the first software company there. Is his passion is to build, and I hope it is a passion. I can feel it, that to build future ready talent, and mark those words, future ready talent. That's a nice expression in India and across the United States as well. That's the future. So you can see he's already understanding what we need. So many of you people over there, especially the people who are asking questions there, that is for you. And then Mr. Khatwa is the founder CEO of Temporal Dynamics and the founder chairman of Quantum Street AI. And he talked about a lot of complex stuff. So some of it, of course, we understood, and some of it, I'm sure we didn't, but we will in course of time, I believe. So without further ado, I just want to jump into the questions. We don't have a lot of time. We're talking about the application of AI in IT, and that heading itself tells you that where do you begin, really, right? So I'll leave it to these three gentlemen. And before I go any further, I mean, who am I? My name is Rajiv Rath. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a CPA and a couple of other things. I run my own accounting firm. I used to be controller, CFO of global companies, and that's my background. AI, I don't understand. I use it, but these guys are the experts. So we'll just ask them the questions, right? Okay. So the very first question, I mean, and I'll give you gentlemen a minute each to cover it. Is IT the way we have traditionally understood it, or is AI changing the perspective of what IT actually is? What do you think? I mean, what's changing?
Actually, yeah, let me start. Probably.
Sure, absolutely. No.
I feel very passionate about the subject. The thing is, every definition is changing, right? When the Y2K, all like the information age came, everything became IT, right? So you are working on supply chain, or you're working on supply chain become IT. You're working on manufacturing automation, that became IT. Everything became IT, right? Right now, the AI definition is very changing very fast, right? Initially, the AI definition was, oh, I can do a statistical modeling and then I can make a prediction. It changed after it took us probably a couple of decades to go to machine learning, right? And the deep learning, once we actually head to the deep learning phase, or the actually immediately deep learning, the reinforcement learning, we started giving information and modeling, which we internally, what is happening, we don't have visibility to it, right? Now the AI definition changed. It's no more, even for a deep learning or machine learning, it is all about pattern matching. Right now, AI is not pattern matching. AI is reasoning, okay? That is the big step that we move forward. And with the reasoning capability, our definition of where the AI can apply is becoming, it opened up the whole Pandora box. I can take it to actually talked about healthcare. Think about a system that is continuously learning. Every second, every data point it is learning, and it is reasoning behind it. How long it will take for us to go past a highly experienced doctor? It will. Actually, even if it is not right now, it will. Okay. So whether it can do the job or not, that is not the more question. It's essentially like what job we are willing to give it to them, right? Yes. So actually, the expertise can come. It is guaranteed. It's already happening. There are companies which are doing right now. You don't need to call a doctor. They're providing it. There are some compliance legal issues, but the technology is already getting there, right? With a protein folding, right? What the DeepMind has got done, like they explored the whole thing, like the things that we haven't even imagined. It is possible right now, right? So the thing that is going to come is like not, either I can find the answer, but how do I structure the accountability, trust, all those things become much more powerful. Okay, so the definition is going to change for all of us.
Dr. Mahadev?
Okay, I have been in IT for last 40 plus years, starting with this Y2K and even before that.
You keep your mic a
AI,
little closer.
AI was always there. Okay. I remember in 80s when Kasparov played the Watson machine. So that was a revolutionary thing that Kasparov was beaten by Watson. Okay, the one of the best player in the world. So the thing is that it has evolved. As Chida said, it has evolved. What has evolved is, how IT is going to play a role. AI is going to play a role in our life. Job prospects is a very big deal for graduates, those who are graduating. If you probably know that 60%, 70% of the code Claude is writing, even for Claude. So writing and getting into a solution is not the issue. What you interpret, whether it is correct or incorrect, it will be up to the specialist, those who manage the agents. So those specialist jobs is never going to go away, because ultimately someone has to make a decision that whether the solution. Let me give you an example. I will give you even this. We were thinking when IBM was leading as having the best supercomputers in the world. We were thinking at that time that we will simulate the catalysis. That they use the crude oil to get the crude oil from the from the bottom of the earth. 50% of it is thrown away. If you don't know, 50%. The world uses 105 to 120 billion barrels a day. 50%, just imagine how much it costs. If you get couple of percentage, that is trillions of dollars. Couple of percentage. But you need to know which chemicals to use and combine. And that's where AI can help. But ultimately, a scientist has to test it out. Yes, we got that 2% or 5%. And the scientific knowledge or the expertise is not going to go away. But the nature of job is going to change. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So for me, like IT and AI, like it's both synonymous. Like I think one and the same, because it is one and the same. Because when we went to school, like way back in 90s, like we had a chapter, like we had a subject, like everybody worked on AI, like at that point, but the machine power was not there, right? We didn't have the machines to do things, and we have built, like we have like Chidabhai was saying, like 30 years. It only took 30 years to go from there to here, like. So it's just like for this current age and the people working in IT who have come from doing a Y2K job to actually working with LLMs, you just need to recognize what is noise versus what's the real work and focus on that, and you will be fine. That's my message to everybody in my company. That's how we look at it, because it's just part of our advanced thing which you just got it yesterday. Work with it, stay with it, and you'll be fine.
Okay. So, I'm going to shift to more a different type of questions. And this is coming from the kind of questions I'm getting at work. because of the kind of people I work with, a lot of nonprofits and businesses and all that. So obviously everybody's talking about it and saying, oh, what is it? And, so the context here, and I'll start with you, Chandan. How do you manage your existing workforce? They have a certain level of skill. They went to school, they studied whatever they did, and now they're working. Especially those who are, 10, 15 years into their work careers. And now they're hearing this. There is obviously a level of concern. I won't stretch it any further than that. But they are asking, so the CEOs especially, the MDs are asking that, are there tools? They say, everybody's asking, so have you trained your people on Copilot? I don't know how many emails I have received. We will train your people on Copilot. And I don't even know what the question means. Seriously. I mean, I know what it means, but you understand. So a lot of people are asking, here is my workforce. This is the people I have. This is the skill levels I have. What am I supposed to do? Predict it over the next 5 or 10 years. We want to survive in this business. What am I supposed to do?
Uh,
Short
l-
answer.
yeah.
There isn't a
So-
short answer, but try.
So no, like there is a short answer, like always, like, right? You need to train yourself. Anything new coming, like all through your career, like it's not that what you studied in school is exactly what you're using. I have not used my chemistry skills. I know you guys are using it. I haven't used any of my physics skills, like, right? Whatever I learned in last 2 years in computer science, that's all I have used. So since then, like, it's, you need to train yourself. Whatever is new with AI, one thing I will tell is, like, don't be afraid of it. Try to go, give them access. First of all, like, you have to give them access to
Right.
the right tools, because if you want to think about it, like, rather than going outside in the market and bringing people, if you train your people who already know the subject matter, and subject matter is the key here, right? At the end of the day, AI can do things faster, and so let it do it for you. You be the judge whether it's working for you or not, right?
Okay.
So
Dr. Mahanti,
invest.
what do you think?
This particular question was asked recently to the CEO of TCS, Chandrasekhar. He said, I have 500,000 workforce now. I will have 500,000 agents. And those workforce are the people who are working for me. They will be, working on those agents and training those agents to get the answers. His answer is not that I'm going to lay off 40% of the population or not. But the question is, for the CEO, whether they can sustain that maintenance or give that kind of training to the employees. But on the other hand, you can see that the Meta and many other companies, they are laying off people. But you will see that as the AI evolution takes place, I have seen a lot of layoff in my career, okay, 40 plus years, okay. So IBM goes through lots of ups and downs for the layoffs. But once the AI has matured to a point that it gives the real practical solution, just like I gave you, find a catalyst which will produce, 2% extra crude oil. If you find those kind of things, there will be more employment. There will be job explosion. But we have to wait for those moments, and the companies have to sustain those people in their own, strategic areas. So that's my answer. You can all look for their article. I think Chandrasekhar has written in Times of India.
Before you begin, I'll remind you of something you said in your presentation, that MBA class, you remember, when you were saying, and they asked, what do we do after these 2 years? With that,
Yeah. So you're referring to, actually I was inviting,
okay, yeah.
I also, that's my part-time job. I teach at UC Berkeley to the MBA students. Um, the question was, oh my God, I'm spending money, time, almost 1.5 to 2 years. After that, will there be a job for us? And actually, that's a valid question for all of us, actually. By the way, the job security is not only exposed to the, by the way, after we did the reasoning capabilities and all, where the most revenue is coming from, AI revenue right now, 70% AI revenue is coming from code creation, writing better codes, right? That is the focus right now. And which job it replaces? The people who created the whole damn thing, right? So right now and that's the very valid reason that you can see Meta, almost everybody is restructuring their workforce. Uh, the way I put it, like, it falls into two different buckets. One is the kind of job which we think AI will take a while to go and um, really do big disruptions, like jobs like nursing, plumbing, people who are working, like their labor skills to do those things, like till uh, those Primus robots go and change everything. By the way, that thing is happening too. There is certain amount of not significant disruption, but for others, all of us, it is going to disrupt uh, with the ability to reasoning, the ability to getting the knowledge cheaply, right? It's all coming down to the basic economics. I will spend this much of energy. Right now, the models can run like the reasoning can run multi days, right? And with not only a single model, like multiple model, I can put it there, and it will find answers that you haven't thought about, right? Right now they're putting I know there's an example, Airbnb CEO, he has a AI avatar. Like, before even there people go and pitch before him, they'll pitch before to the AI model and say, okay, well, this is what our proposal is. After he gets the approval from them, then they talk to this guy. So the CEO job is also online. Right now I can do there are companies who are putting, okay, we'll put a chief operating officer agent on your company. You don't need to hire a COO. That's why actually my next company, I don't have a COO, but I have an agent which is running COO job, which is real threat, like for people who really want to do the job, right? So for those kind of thing, there is the nature of jobs are shifting, right? We are going to have a significant demand of energy, right? The compute, maintaining those things. So those jobs are getting created. Actually, there are a lot of demands right now. People who have worked on the HVS, like high voltage, creating server, deploying server. That's why the semiconductor is getting a big bump right now, because there's so much investment going in right now for the same kind of jobs, right? So the like right now, like the structure of the job, there is going to be disruption, no matter like it's given, right? But the nature of jobs are going to change. There will be new kind of jobs will be created, like AI system architecture, AI governance. Governance is becoming much more critical right now. The thing is not like whether I can put a control over the model, but what access should I give my agents? Because right now the agents can send money, they can write, they can prescribe things, right? So we have to say, okay, what controls should I put it so that it doesn't touch the thing? Or before it touch, there is a human involved which can answer those. They can really give a green stamp on it, right? So those kind of jobs will be important. The governance, compliance, the where our judgments are involved, where there is certain amount of accountability. You have to show that there is accountability. Like almost every jobs, talk about finance, healthcare, there is a thing we have to put a person accountable. We can't say that, okay, hey, my model said so, that's why I did that, right? We can't do that, right? So those kind of jobs will be in high demand. Actually, right on the corporate world, AI governance is going to be really very important. So if any of you are thinking about in the sector, think about the governance. It's very, very important nowadays.
Then my last question, I'm just going to take up from what you just said. And this might be of some level of sensitivity, because think about this. Not just in AI, in any industry, in any application, who are the three really players? One is the government and investors, the people who have the authority to take a decision or invest the money, right? That's one group. Then the second group are the creators and the innovators, like Chandan is. Seeing something, having the skill to develop and do it, right? And the third is the whole large body of all of us who are the users of it, right? And to not everybody is affected the same way, like we said, plumbers and this, maybe they will not be affected as much. Others will be affected more. Healthcare will be slower because it's a life and death matter. Accounting is probably the first one that's going to go. So I'm retiring soon. But all of that said, my concern here on that question to you is, how do you establish those guardrails? Who's to decide that? Because the people who have the authority are, and I'll probably be sent to jail for this, but they are the people who profit by it, but they are also the people who are supposed to build the guardrails. How do you manage that?
Yeah,
It's a
actually,
tough question.
no, it's a great
But it
question.
takes off from what you just said.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
I recently published a book. The title of the book is, you can, actually, I was thinking to bring that, I didn't have time. It's called The Holy Grail of Finance, How AGI Can Rewrite the Capital Market. It's on Amazon. It's not that expensive. You can buy that. Royalty will come to me. This is the topic I kind of covered over there. Um, there are almost every aspects of it. By the way, the way technology is moving forward, I put the timeline when the real true AGI will come. I was putting timeline around 2035, 2040. But the way it is progressing, we're just 3-5 years away to reach that kind of level. So with that, what are the focus areas we should invest on, right? We are, so that the true power will belong to people who really adapting first and controlling it. So I termed the word called, before in finance world, we call asset under management. The companies who have higher, bigger asset, like the BlackRock or the State Street guys, they manage trillions of dollar asset under management. They are the one controlling the whole market. It is not going to be asset under management. It will be intelligence under management. Who can control more intelligence will have much more bigger say in the market. Some company can get very powerful because they control a lot of intelligence, a lot of data points, and how to use them, right? So if we do unequal investments, right, it can really disrupt the gap of people who can do versus can't do. Like, we can go widen, right? So in general, I think there is certain amount of investment also going there to bring accessibility, like kind of bring equality. I think we have to all participate in that, right? So actually, there are right now investment going in where how to bring access to everybody, how to bridge the gap between the haves and have-not, right? So we have to do kind of equal amount of investment everywhere. Otherwise, this is going to be a little bit more disrupted and more unbalanced world in future. And actually, we are also doing that in a sense. Like recently, the EU has put the AI Act, right, which is putting a lot of governance on it, what it can do, what it cannot do, right? And similarly, there are, like, for example, we have certain amount of technology there which can really put a lot of imbalance, like specifically using, like, in course of in the energy sector and all. We are consciously not going there. So that means we are aware of it, right? We are not going to go off the rail and then create so much of thing that we can pull back, right? So I think it is going to be balanced in future, but during the phase of transition, we are going to see a lot of disruption, which is not going to be helpful for all of
What
us.
do you think, Chandan? Dr. Mantri?
No, you can go ahead.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. Uh, what we are doing is, like, when we talk about business intelligence, think about whatever data you have, like, right, you're running a store, all the sales data you're collecting somewhere, right? So if you put anything, like, right, you put that table or you put an Excel sheet in LLM's basic task is just figuring out what the next word is, right? You ask, like, what is my sales? Great, it had, like, your Excel had the sales, it showed you the sales. It said, what is my marketing spend? Now, it's not supposed to say no to you, it's just looking for an answer. And even though you might not have that marketing spend data in there, it will try to come up with an answer. And that's what we know as hallucination, because ChatGPT's eagerness to answer you takes you there. Like, now what we have done, like, we use this MCP protocol in the back end, basically, where anything data related question when you're asking, it has to go through certain rules, which it will go and check, like it will always check that data. And if it doesn't have that answer, it comes and tells you that I don't have that number for you. And instead, like I can give you this XYZ, if it, like, or I can closely calculate it this way. So we have put a loop there, like first of all, it queries the data, then it checks its own work, and then it brings the answer. So no, it's not human in the loop. It's the AI agent in the loop. Like, so it's checking its own work. It's checking it against its memory. It's checking it against its guardrails. So all those things are written, which is very specific to our database which you are connecting to.
That's a big question. Yeah, I'll try.
So Rachida bhai.
So there is a concept called PDOOM. Uh, PDOOM is a probability of AI can take over. Like it's a real concept. Like people are invested in it. Like what is the probability that within 100 years that AI can take over human world, right? Better than it, or at least control it. The disaster scenario. When actually it started by those Anthropic and those guys, they kind of started measuring it because that kind of came out as a real concern. Like the Google say Eric Schmidt and all those guys are invested in it. Initially, they put it the probability almost very high. It went up to like 70-80%. The probability is very, very high, like more than 50%. Then gradually, when they started understanding, discussing, and see the behavior of it, it kind of coming down. I feel right now, I don't know the exact number. It is way below 50%. I think around 30% they're saying. The reason behind it is that we have as a human civilization, right? We, even though we make a lot of stupid things, things come together, it kind of everybody focus on, oh yeah, this is the right thing to do, right? So that's what I was talking about, the governance. Right now, there are so many governance things are coming along in the picture, right? EU has started, is California is working on certain governance policies right now. So we are the one who has which come to take step to say, okay, this is the boundary condition I have to put it, right? By the way, the ability, if you think that whatever is current ability are and the way the current investments are going, even people who are deep into it, we can't even predict what we can achieve. There is something called the boundary rule. Like whenever, like for example, on a semiconductor, right? So there is a Moore's law. How much you can pack a silicon, right? Every 18 months, the capability was doubling. Then it hit the physics limit, right? You can't really pack any more silicon beyond that. We haven't seen any kind of those boundary rules, limitation rule on this technology yet, which is itself very scary, right? We don't know how much we can push it further, right?
Let's take one. We are running out of time a little bit, but we'll entertain one last question if you don't mind. Okay. And the gentleman at the back too.
Yeah, just Chida, I just wanted to take a comment on what you said and also one question. So basically the governance, like I work in TPM in a data mining company, and using Jira and all, like I've made hundreds of these dashboards, just in 2 weeks time. But after you doing all these things, like it takes, suppose in one day itself, like you will do all your job. The next of the 4 days, you need to understand what he did and really explain to your manager, right? That's the
Right.
governance. It's so difficult. What he like. The contract is always good to pass the Bhagwan, the soy bad after I don't know about God, but Claude definitely. You write concepts.
God and Claude, yeah. Pretty close.
So that's the governance is really big challenge for us. So the question I have is like, चाबी तो अबे calculator use करूँ, phone use करूँ, हमारा इंटर मतलब sluggish है, like number टा मर रहा है, right? Memory is getting down right now. ये सब कुछ number को phone रहती है कि मतलब चल, right? So likewise, like if you start using AI, do you think that the human cognition is also going down, like memory is going down, and then what will happen in 10 years' time?
Who wants to
Right
take
now,
that?
after that, without ChatGPT, they don't think anything. Everything has
There is.
AI driven.
Let me answer that. There is a there is a study which have been,
Michael.
or the study has been made that those students who are using ChatGPT, their intelligence has gone down by 13 to 15%. It's a real study by Harvard, not a company has made that you can't believe. So it's a fundamentally a big question whether they will have that kind of critical thinking as they move into in their career. About responsible AI, what Chida had said, that the machine, the cloud, when we were writing the LLMs and etc., it can become arrogant because you can see that some of the answers coming out, they don't make sense. I was just talking to Prasanta. Now they're teaching them philosophy, okay? They are teaching them what Socrates said. I know nothing, the Aristotle. I know nothing. All I know is I know nothing. So they have to put some humility in those codes so that they really don't go too far, in the future to doom the universe, okay? So that is something you cannot get out of AI what you have already not put in. Okay, I will give you this, but the example from physics. So my background is physics.
Chandan,
Okay.
what do you think?
Yeah.
We are going to the next panel discussion is
One last
AI
one
in
last
education.
question, and really quick, and 30 seconds to answer though.
Yes, Rudra.
What will bring the limitation, right? I have two queries. By the way, like Andrea said, I'm using every day, right? So, but there are two things. One thing is like Chandan was explaining, AI is, I mean, first of all, LLM is only just one aspect. That's not most of them. That's the interpretation of text. So the time will come when we'll say there is no more need for justice departments because all these laws can be interpreted by AI. I think that's why all these lawyers will stand up and say, no, let's leave it AI.
Yes.
That's going to happen.
The stakeholders will, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second, I think all the madness are going to bring all data and it will increase whatever I talked about global warming. Already we explained the tax, right? 1100 people die. That is the second thing, right? That will bring a halt to all this madness, right? Because definitely, I mean, we are not strongly able to know how to generate energy, right? In a very sustainable. So those are my two theories, which will kind of bring the limit to AI.
Right.
But AI,
Let's.
yeah, but definitely it's a good technology. That was a lot, but there has to be balance. And solution.
Well, I'm glad we've excited so much of attention on. It's a difficult subject, but I'm glad we managed to do. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chandan,
Thank you.
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Mahanti and Mr.
Thank you.
Karthik.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate all your comments and insights. You're shifting this side.
Give it to me.